Good morning, everybody. Hopefully you clicked on the PDF file and it shows you what we're going to draw today. And yes, it's toilet paper tubes, and actually that will be the final drawing there, and a toilet paper roll. Two little sketches, trying to keep a little sense of humor about the situation here. So let's talk about this. So the point of this lesson here is it shows multiple light sources, and hopefully you'll read what it says there. Before we get started, I remember we drew ovals and circles. We just practiced. So here's my pencil, and this one's actually an Ebony pencil, one of those drawing pencils we had in the classroom, but any pencil will do. And hold your pencil lightly. Don't have a death grip, and just kind of hold your hand a little bit above, or hold your arm above the table in your hand, and just start sketching out some of those circles. We want to get warmed up. And honestly, you probably should do this I should do this every single day. We all should do this every single day. It'll help us with our drawings to be looser. They can overlap. Just draw a bunch of circles. And after you've done a bunch of circles, go ahead and do some ovals. We're going to be drawing a lot of ovals with this sketch, so let's go ahead and have some ovals. Those are going to be important. I notice that my ovals, I always do them kind of lopsided, so you probably do too somehow, or not. Maybe you're better at this than I am. But now that you've had a little practice, let's go ahead. I'm going to move my paper up. I'm working from a ginormous sketchbook today. I don't think anyone's got one this big in class right now. Or you may be working from regular paper, that's fine. So we're going to start out for the core of the toilet paper tube. And we're going to make an oval. And I kind of like it. Whatever this edge is here, it should mimic it at the bottom. So let's go ahead and do that. Try, and then we're going to draw our sides and come down. Notice I'm not drawing any hard lines. I'm not committing to anything yet because it's still not great. It's okay, but I want to be able to tweak what I want to tweak. So it's a process. I know sometimes I see kids, they commit to a line right away, they draw it in the paper really, really hard, and then they can't go back. So give yourself some flexibility. The other thing too is any artist will tell you they draw lots and lots and lots of lines before they actually get the image they want. Even if it's something simple like this tube, it still takes a little bit of time, so you take that time when you need it. Work with an eraser here. This one I have is like one of these. We don't have these in the classroom. Any kind of eraser will do. Eraser from another pencil, whatever. And honestly, when you draw, you really should use a brush to brush your erasers off, your little shavings from the eraser. But I know nobody's got one at home right now, so anyhow, we are going to go ahead and add, move this camera down a little bit. Just, see, I see up on the screen, I don't like the bottom here. It's not as curved as on top. I'm going to curve that a little bit more. And I'm going to start adding some of the shadows that they show. So in the top of the tube there's a shape. Your shadows will form shapes, like weird shapes. If you look at them in the picture, just copy that shape. It may seem weird, but once you get it on there, you get everything shaded, then it looks like it's supposed to. It'll look 3D. Mine's not as dark as it is in the picture yet. I'll get there. I just want to start marking things out, laying things out. Looks like my edge up there is not real great. Clean that up a little. Oh, blurry camera. There we go, we're back. Okay. So one thing about doing this without a class here, the class would have said, hey, before I noticed it, so sorry, apologize. I'm feeling like mine's a little wider at the top than it is at the bottom, but that might be okay. Okay, we're going to add in that little crease, or that little line that delineates part of the cardboard tube that you see when you see a cardboard tube. It's got that line on there. And then the shadow, the darkest part of the shadow would be where this came out. If you had a light source coming from here and a light source coming here, two lights shining on it, it's going to be nice and bright on the sides, but this middle part, the light's not going to get to it. So that's what creates that shadow up here. So I'm going to kind of mimic what they have in their picture, kind of get an area drawn. And come down like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and fill that in with my pencil. My pencil, I really like this pencil right now. It's got a really nice dark value. It's soft lead. And the tip is perfect right now. It's not too sharp. Sometimes when you have a really sharp pencil and you're trying to do shading, it kind of snags on the paper. It doesn't do what you want it to do. Sometimes you got to wear that tip down a little bit to get it to the point that you want it, nice and soft, and so you can do some shading. So we want that line to show through there still. So this is just very preliminary, and later when you shade, you get your areas darker, you can go in with like a finger and do some blending too, but I really don't think you should do that until the very end, because when you touch the paper with your finger, your fingers, you have oils in your fingers, and it changes the paper. If you get too much on there in the middle of your drawing, at some point the paper just won't really accept anything anymore, any more lead or erasing, or kind of wear the paper out. So give yourself some time before you get to that point. And then we're going to bring the shading out more, a little bit more, going around that edge. I'll kind of do more on just one side, and they go back in and they start darkening from here. And you see the change once you start darkening things. You get those values, and then you've got that contrast between the really dark darks and the light lights. That's what makes it pop, makes it look good. And this is just beginning. I could be drawing this for a long time. I don't want you guys drawing this forever. Anyhow, I'm going to stop there. I think you kind of get the idea. I just really want you to see that I'm light on my pencil, kind of taking my time. It's a gradual process. And keep your eraser handy, because sometimes you go too far in one area and you can just kind of take it back a little. Not a big deal. In our tutorial, what they show next is they do show with this background here, so I would take a ruler and draw a little rectangle back there. And also we've got the shadow at the bottom, so I'm going to get my ruler and just put in that area real quick, about where they had a background. You don't have to have a huge background, but when you put that background in there and shade it, it's nice, and it'll make your drawing pop. So really easy with a ruler. And come down. And come down, and then you would shade in there. And actually, let's deal with the shadow at the bottom. This looks crooked. Okay, the shadow is another oval, and it kind of, if you look in the picture, it comes out to here and scrapes right across the bottom, and then comes out that way. And it's actually darker on this side and lighter on this side. What that means is that the light source here is brighter than this one would have been. But we don't know what the setup was there. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and sketch in something at the bottom here like this. And so it's real simple, but it comes out. There's actually more of a mathematical way to figure out a really accurate shadow, but we're not going to do that today. But I can show you sometime if you like. So the shadow right here is going to be darker, and then it comes out, and then you can continue drawing that. I'm going to stop on that one for now. The second one here is the actual toilet paper roll. And you could probably put that on the bottom of your sketchbook, or you can start a new page. It's up to you. Or maybe you want to draw from life, and maybe there's some toilet paper in your house and your parents trust you enough to grab one and just draw from it. Don't waste it because they still don't have them in the stores yet, but you can set it up like this, or you could just draw from the picture. So when you start drawing this one, you want to look at the ovals you've got here. I would start with that first. So we've got a nice oval there, so we wouldn't want it to be too wide. Look at, it's kind of a narrow distance from here to here. And so we would draw the first one, and then we'd come down, and then we want to mimic the curve there to here. Mimic that curve, sketch in your sides, and go ahead and you would put the little oval in the center there. And then you're going to draw how the paper comes down, folds on each other itself, and then lays flat on the table. Kind of flat, not really. This is like a roundish edge. Yours doesn't have to look exactly like that. And it's got a ruffled edge here, so kind of ruffle the edge. Then you would go back in and you'd start looking at the different shapes the shadows form. We've got like a half circle here, and we've got this little shady thing here. We've got a triangle there. Here there's kind of a rectangle. Shade those in. Yours don't have to look exactly like that. When you start doing that, that's what causes the 3D effect. The underneath, when you can kind of see underneath, would be nice and dark under there because there's not light getting under there. And then we've got our shadow coming from the edge of the toilet paper roll. On this one, the light source is coming from here. So as the light hits it, it's lighter, and then this is the part that would be away from the light and hidden and be shadowed. So go ahead and have fun with that, and I can't wait to see your drawings. Thank you.